may have said, and I didn't hear, but when you left your boat in Lituya Bay and you were going to hike, how far did you actually wind up hiking? Yes.
It's about 55 miles up to Dry Bay, and then turned around and went back.
Okay, so you didn't go.
So I only covered about 100 miles. Yeah. You know, by Alaska standards, that's not a huge undertaking. You know, but it's a pretty amazing piece of the world out there. You know, everything out there is pretty outsized, and there's nobody out there. You know, I went in early May, 3 years ago at the tail end of that winter when we had 20-something feet of snow. So it was still there was a lot of snow on the ground up under the trees and stuff. But I chose to go then because I knew that once that snowpack started melting, a lot of the rivers out there would be uncrossable. And I thought if I went early enough, there might not be quite as many bears down on the beach, and if I went too late, then it was kind of balancing the time. So I wound up out there in the middle of May, and there's no fishing or anything going on out there, so you don't even see trollers going by.
I've never been to Lituya Bay, but I understand getting in and out is a little bit tricky. Or
it's very tricky.
Yeah.
It's one of the people who was probably one of the most accomplished mariners on the coast back in the 1800s referred to it as the most feared harbor in the Pacific, because the ebb tide can flush out of there at 11 or 12 knots.
Talking about Lafayette, what happened there?
Well, yeah, the first Western contact out on the shore there was the French explorer La Perouse, and he started in there. Well, he sent some boats in to explore, and they evidently hit it real close to slack water because they just sounded the channel and took some measurements and stuff, came back out and said, "It's a piece of cake, let's go." And then when he went up there with his sailing ships, they sailed into the mouth on the flood and got caught in that current. And we're literally within 25 yards of being shipwrecked out there, with two ships, and just a miraculous burst of wind allowed them to sail back offshore. But it's still tricky getting in and out of there. Even if you're going to do it with a lot of horsepower. You could do it in a strong skiff. You could make that run out there in a fast skiff on a calm day, but you want some horsepower to deal with that entrance. Because when it starts ebbing out, if there's any swell coming out of the west, it breaks them completely across the entrance and for up to a mile out. It's pretty fierce, when there's a good swell running in and a big ebb like we're going to have here with this big moon. It's going to be wild out there on the ebb.
Was there a tsunami that hit that in the 60s?
The highest wave ever recorded on the planet, 1,400 feet, from an earthquake that caused the back wall of the fjord to drop, 100 million tons of debris.
And there's people who died in that.
Yeah, there were 3 boats in the bay, and that was in 1958. And there were 3 boats in Lituya Bay when the earthquake hit. And this incredible wall of water comes down from the back and shoots out the front, stripped 4 square miles of timber down to bedrock, and had hundreds of millions of tons of ice. The glacier pretty much collapsed during the face of the glacier collapsed during the earthquake. So this wall of water came out full of logs and icebergs and just debris. And one boat managed to ride it out, right up over the wave. Another one was thrown backwards over the spit, the entrance, and disappeared. And the third boat was very badly damaged by the wave, but managed to survive the wave itself. But then the boat sank out from under the people immediately after the wave, and they managed to get off into a little skiff and pull the thwart up to use as a paddle. But they were in the middle of all this ice and logs and everything bobbing around in the dark. And another boat managed to find them and pick them up before they went down. So 2 out of the 3 crews survived, which is nothing short of miraculous, because 1,400